Shimon Peres has worn a great many political hats. He seemed to take naturally to president, swearing the oath in 2007, a former prime minister, a member in a dozen Israeli governments, representative of 5 political parties in the Knesset parliament over more than 60 years. He's been called both a dove and a hawk. As head of state, which is a mostly ceremonial job, he nevertheless used his influence to promote peace, even if it bothered the nationalists. He often seemed the only person in high places who opposed Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's positions. But Peres wasn't always a dove. He emigrated with his family from what was then Belarus, later Poland, in 1934 at age 11. He met David Ben-Gurion hitchhiking, first Prime Minister of Israel, who kept the 25-year-old close. He'd been a dairy farmer, shepherd and kibbutz secretary by then and was assigned to international strategic relations development and armaments buying in the defense ministry. Several ministerial portfolios later, he was running it. And he didn't look very dovish when he authorized the construction of the first Jewish settlements in the occupied Palestinian territories of the West Bank. And yet, as foreign minister in the government of his political rival and sometime opponent, Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin, he was central to the conclusion, with Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat, of the Oslo Accords in 1993, on the lawn of the White House, assisted by US President Bill Clinton. The 3 Oslo heavyweights won the Nobel Peace Prize for that. The Israeli peacemakers were side by side when Rabin was assassinated in 1995 by a right-wing Israeli radical who'd meant to kill them both. Peres served as acting prime minister and acting defense minister until elections the following year, although later the Labour Party stalwart would face criticism from the left for sticking with a government that showed little progress with peace. It was under Peres's watch that the Israeli army killed by artillery fire more than 100 Lebanese civilians taking refuge in a UN compound and wounding many more. The UN reported the action while fighting Hezbollah in South Lebanon probably wasn't completely accidental. After spending a few years in a desert of unpopularity, Peres came back, by now seen as increasingly dovish, far less the hawk. Honoured with accolades, he insists no one must hesitate for peace.
I'm sure I shall see peace in my lifetime, even if I shall have to extend my life for a year or two. I won't hesitate.